Welcome to another series of the FairMoney Recreated Ad. And today's tutorial, we are going to be recreating this scene. So let me play this scene for you.
Collateral, zero paperwork. Fast approval, quick disbursement. Collateral, zero paperwork.
Okay, so I'll be recreating that, and that will be scene 5 from my own end. So what I will do Control N, call this scene 5. Let me write it in capital letter, scene 5. 1920 by 1080, 25 frame rate I'll be using, and let me work with 10 seconds. I could, okay, let me increase it to 20 seconds. Okay, yes, so this is what I have. The first thing I want to do is that I want to use this background, so I'm going to be using this background, and to simply do that, I can just copy the background from here. Go to my field, pick this, and that is this color. So I'll pick this. I'll come over here, and either I use so I'm going to create a new solid rather. Let me just create a new solid, and give the solid this background. Okay, so that is done. Then the next thing I want to do, I want to bring in my streak, this light streak. So I've already created this light streak. You can see that in scene 4, which is these ones here, this streak. Though I'll just bring any of them. This one, let me check. Yes, I'm going to bring this. Just copy this. I'll come to scene 5 and I'll paste it over here. So it should be somewhere around. Let me bring it up. Okay, I'm going to remove the position, the X and Y keyframe, position keyframe, so I can bring it up this way. And I can also rotate it. Let me rotate it 90. Yes, 90. I have it somewhere around here. Okay, fit. So I have it over here, bring it somewhere here, and here it is. So it still has the wiggle expression. So let me bring that up, the wiggle expression. Let me go inside and check. So here's the wiggle expression, and it's on the y-axis. So what I want to do is that I'm going to copy this expression, but this time I want to take it to the x-axis. So I want it to be wiggling like this instead of this way like this. So what I could do, I can just simply cancel this. Just click on Option or Alt and then click on it. It goes off. And then I'll come inside here. I can now click here, Option and click, and then Ctrl V to paste the wiggling. So now it would wiggle like this in the X direction. Okay. Maybe that is too much. I can reduce this to see maybe 90. Let me use 90. Let's see. Okay, this is okay. So what I would do now is to duplicate this. I can now duplicate this. Mind you, since this was used, so let me Ctrl Z this. Since this same light streak was used in the other, okay, no, it won't affect it. Let me leave it that way. So I'll duplicate this. I'll Ctrl D. I'll duplicate this, bring it over here. I'll go to scale, uncheck this, and then put this as minus. Put minus here to mirror it. Okay, it should be on the other side, on the Y. So I'll put the minus here instead, and then I've mirrored it. So I'll bring this one over here, somewhere around this. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so we now have something like this. Okay, I think the wiggling is too much. Maybe I would reduce. Oh, they're still wiggling in the Y direction here. So let me Option, click on this, it goes off. Let's see. Okay, so for this, let me reduce it to 60. Let me reduce this one to 60. And also do the same thing for this, EE, to bring out all the expressions. So for the wiggling, I'll change this to to 60. Let's see. Okay, so that will be that for the light streak and also the expressions on it. So the next thing I want to do is to come over here and draw in my rectangle. So I'm going to draw this. I'm going to draw a rectangle. So I'll come over here, I'll click on the rounded rectangle tool. I will draw this over here. Make sure I'm here selected. I'll copy it from the timeline. Come over here, see on the timeline selected. I'll do Ctrl V to paste it. Now I want the color, the fill to be white, and I do not want any stroke. So I'll cancel the stroke. I could give it a little roundness. So let me just go to the roundness, maybe make it 30. So yes, 30 is fine. Then I'll duplicate this, bring one over here, duplicate this, and bring another one over here. And just to make sure it is evenly distributed, I'll come to this align and then click on this distribute horizontally. So they are all evenly distributed. Okay. So over here, you find out that, delete this, you see this, there's a glow around here, this glow. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be creating this glow around here. So I'll come to scene 5 and click here, go to right click on the shape, right click on the shape, then go to layer styles and go to outer glow. And now I am going to come over to the outer glow here, right? I'll change this color to something around blue, this bluish. Click on it, and then I can now I'll go to the spread, not the spread, the size. I increase the size, and also yes, the spread. I'll leave the spread at that. Maybe the opacity, I would reduce the opacity a little bit, and also work with the size, increase the size. So let me leave it at 100, yes, and nothing happens to the spread. Okay, leave the spread at 0. What again am I changing? I can work with 15. Let's check 15. No, that's too slow, too low. 25. Yes, I think this is okay. I will leave it at 25. So I can easily copy this. I think I can copy. Let me go here, copy this, and paste here, and also paste it here. So I've done that for the other two. So let's see how it looks like. Okay, let me reduce my resolution. So we have something like this. Good. So we are almost getting there. So the next thing I want to do is let me adjust this a little. This, not this one, this other one. Let me adjust it back. Yes. And let's see. Okay. Yes. So the next thing I will do now is to bring in the text, animate the rectangle, type the text, and also bring in other items into the workspace. So let me animate the text first. No collateral, zero paperwork. So come over here, just draw a rectangle. This time I'm going to be using the rectangle tool. I won't be using the rounded rectangle tool. So I'll draw this. I'll just draw this around here. Leave this, duplicate this, no. Make sure it is selected over here, not inside, not this selected, but this one selected. Duplicate it and bring it over here. Okay, so let me hide this. I also hide this one. So let me hide this and leave this. So I'll rename it. I'll say first rectangle, first rect, just for me to know which of them I'm working on. And I'm going to animate it. So it's animated. It animates from, it scales from this point. So it scales out like this. So I'm going to do that for this first rect now. So at this point, somewhere around here, let me start here. I would go inside. I would go click on S for scale. Make sure my anchor point is somewhere around here. So I'm going to move my anchor point and bring it over here. So pick a point. I'll move something around 20 frames, and then I would reduce it to 0, come back, reduce it to 0. So have something like this. Yes. So that is it. Let me easy it. I'm going to easy it. Easy ease. And let's see. Good. Makes sense. Okay. So now let's bring in this. Let's start animating the text. So somewhere around here, the text can now come in. So we have this. Click on it and hold Command or Control, double click on this span behind anchor point to make sure the anchor point is at the middle. Even though I'm also going to adjust the anchor point very soon. So if you see what we have here, we have something like this. No collateral, 0 paperwork. So I will do that for this. I can still reduce this too much. Just reduce it. Delete this. Let me zoom in a little. I will duplicate this, take it up, bring this up. Is it down or up? Let me check. Okay, it is up. So no collateral, no paperwork. So let me type. So what I would do, since I'm going to be using this for this, I'm going to use it here. I might also use something like that here too. I will put it inside a composition, right? No collateral, command, 0 paperwork. Let me just put both of them inside a composition. So I'll Shift Command C, and then just see text comp. Text comp, that's what I'll call it. So I'll double click on it. And type no collateral. Let me reduce this to say 100, or maybe use 80. Let's say 60. That's still too much. Maybe 40 will work. Change the color. Okay, let me change the color of the rectangle instead to red, something around this. Yes, that's good. Put this here, increase this. 0 collateral. I'll duplicate this, bring this over here. Let's also change the color of this to red, and then 0 paper work. Okay, so put this here. Let me increase it up a little. Take this here. So what I want to do now is that I want the composition to just be this size. So I would trim it, click on this region of interest, highlight this portion, come to composition and say crop comp to region of interest. There you have it. So when I go to my scene 5, it's obviously going to move. So I'll move it back to somewhere around here. And let's see, let me fit this. So we have this coming, and I'll put it somewhere around here. I can now scale it down to what I want it to be. So we have something like this. So maybe you can start somewhere around here. Yeah, we have this. Okay, so let me go inside and do the animation. So let's see what it looks like again. Comes in. I think the text started. So they start almost at the same time. The animation of the text and the animation of the rectangle started almost at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to animate that. I'm going to do that I'm going to bring it back here. But what I'll do, I'll go inside and do the animation. First, I think the red I'm using is too dark. So let me quickly pick the color of the red here. So I'll pick the color of this red. This is the color. I've picked it. And so delete this. I'll come here and go inside. So let me change the color. Also good. So the box, these rectangles, they scaled from this point to this point. So I'm going to replicate that. How do I do that? First, I'm going to move the anchor point to this point. So I'm holding Control or Command in your hand so that it snaps to the end. I also do the same thing here. Move the anchor point here. Okay. So after doing that, now let me scale it. Click on S. Pick a point, a keyframe. Move about 20 frames. Pick another point again, or pick a keyframe, Then I'll come to the beginning and scale it to, I'll have to unlink it, I'm going to unlink this chain. So remove the link and then take this point to 0. So it means it's going to be scaling only in the X direction, right? So see this, yeah. So I would ease this. I also do the same thing for this one. Let me come over here. I'll click on S, pick a point, 20 frames, pick another point. Then I'm going to unchain it and then reduce this to 0. Let me reduce this to 0. And so we have something like this. So I'm going to ease it. So let's see. Right. Okay. So maybe I would just offset it a little bit. Offset it a little, yes. And then for the text, no collateral, zero paperwork. We've already used a text animator, and in my previous video, I showed you how to use the text animator. So I have a precept that I'm going to be using. So I'll go to Effect. I'll click on Fade In, type Fade In. So this is the precept I'm going to be using. So at this point, when it's about coming in, when it starts revealing, when the rectangle starts revealing, I want the text to start revealing too. So no collateral, I'll put the precept here. And also after a point, after some time or frames, I'll put that for the zero paperwork. So this is what we'll have. Okay. I think that is looking nice. So let me go back to scene 5 and see how it's appeared. Zero paperwork. Okay. That seems to be very slow. The text revealing very slow. Or even my scaling, the scaling of the rectangle is also very slow. So maybe I will move it. Yes, so I'll move the rectangle, the scale keyframe to the beginning. Yes, we have something like this. Okay, so this is cool. So the next thing I want to do now is to bring in the cars. So I'm still seeing that the light streak was also animated, and also the light streak is on top of the rectangles and also the object on the rectangle. So I'll just take my light streak up. Let me move all my light streak up and make sure that it is also animated. So it is blur because I'm using quarter. So if I take it to full view, this is what it looks like. Okay, so let me animate my light streak. This one, then we'll have this. Okay, so I'm going to animate this. I'm going to click on P position. I'm going to be animating it on the x-axis. So I'll click on a point here, maybe 10 frames, click on another point, and then I want it to move this way, at the beginning. So I want it to move this way, move. Okay, so let's see. Okay, that makes sense. So I'll ease it, and I'll do the same thing for this other one. So I would click on P position, click on the keyframe, move 10 frames, and then move this to the back. Okay. Yes. So let me ease this and maybe offset it a little bit. So we have something like this. Okay. That seems to be very fast. Let me move it a little above 10 frames. So let's see. Yes, this makes sense. Okay. So zero collateral, zero paperwork, and let me continue to use a lower resolution. So the next thing I want to do now is bring in the car and also create this cancel icon. So I'll go to and you can get all of these, the project files would be on the link. Check the link on the description. You can access the project files. Everything will be on the project files so that you can recreate along with me. So let me bring in the folder, this folder. I'll bring in this folder. I'll also bring in the car, the modern car. I think I have two modern cars. One that has okay, so I'll bring in I have another one that has a shadow beneath it. So let me go and bring that one. Let me bring in that one. So yes, this is the one I want to use. So I'll bring in this one too, and I'll scale both of them down. Move it over here. Still scale it down. Okay, something around this. Yes. So let's see how it was animated. We have the car coming from the left, from the right, and also the folder also moving up. So let's do that. Let's do that first. So come over here. This would be coming from the left from here. So I would have to mask it inside this first rect. So where's the first rect? Here, over here. So let me bring in this guy down here. Yes, bring it down here. And then somewhere around here, immediately this guy, the rectangle comes up. I want this box, this car to move in. So I'll use position maybe 10 frames or 20 frames. Let's see. So at this point, it will be here. And at this point, it will come over. It will move like this. So we'll have something like this. Let me bring the folder down. The folder should be beneath it. And also let me scale it down. Okay. So let me go back. Let me continue with the car. So the car move like this, move from here and move like this. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to mask the car inside this rectangle. So all I need to do is to go click on draw my pickwick and drag it to the first rect. So obviously it's going to hide it. After Effects is going to hide the rectangle, I would check it out to unhide it. So we'll now have something like this coming in. Okay. So I will ease this and then we'll have this. Boom. Okay. That seems to be slow. Maybe I'll bring it in. Move it. Yes. So after this comes in, the folder can now move up. So what I would do with the folder is that I'm going to use two properties. Where's the folder? Okay, this is the folder. So I'm going to be using both position and opacity. So I'll pick both of them, move 10 frames. So at the beginning, I want the folder to come down. First, let me position the folder properly first. Let me position it where I want the folder to be. Okay, let me delete this. Okay. Okay, so that's where I want it to be. So I would pick a frame, a key a keyframe for the position and also the opacity. Then I'll move 10 frames, pick another point, and then this would happen. At this point, I want it to go down. At the beginning, I want it to go down, so I'll move on the Y direction. I'll move it down somewhere around there. So since I do not want this to show, I will turn this to 0, the opacity to 0 at this point. So we'll have something like this. Okay, let me ease this. Okay, so I think this would have to still go inside. Let me see. Yes, I don't want it to show at all. So I move the starting point from the beginning to somewhere around here. So we'll have something like this. Okay, so we have this and we have this. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's compare it with this. Let's see.
I zero paperwork. I zero paperwork. I zero paper. I zero paperwork.
Okay, so the car is coming in very fast. My car is coming in very fast, so I don't want that to happen. I think I use 10 frames, so let me use 20 frames. I'll move this folder over here. So let's see. Okay, this seems to be better. Yes, this seems to be better. I can also move the starting point over here. Okay, so now that we've done that, let me now draw the cancel icon. Then my light streak would have to go a little beyond the rectangle. So I'll check that, make the correction for my light streak. So let me see. Yes, it has to go a little above it. Come here. Yes. I'll also adjust that for the other light streak when I get to that one. So yes, so that's what we'll have. Boom. I think this is slow. I think this is very slow. The car coming in is coming in very slow. So what I will do is I will move this, but I'll play with the graph instead. So let's say it comes in very fast, but it lands in slow. So let's see what it looks like. No, that is not what I want. Okay. I think that is cool. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to draw this cancel icon. So how I'll do that is that I will first of all draw an ellipse. Make sure that none of this is selected, none of the layers is selected. Draw this. I'm holding shift while I draw this. So let me make this, cancel the fill, increase this to 15. Let's see. I want it to be red, to be this shade of red. Okay. So I think this is cool. It's okay this way. What I would do now is that I want this to be on its own composition, because I'm going to be drawing other things. I'm going to be drawing, there are three things here that would help me achieve this. So I would shift command C. I'll call this maybe cancel icon. Yes. Okay, and then I'll go inside of it. So there are going to be three things. One is the outer outline. Then I will duplicate this again. The one beneath it, I'm going to give it a fill. I'm going to give it this fill, but I'll remove the stroke. And then the transparency, I will put maybe 30. Yes, so we'll have something like this. Another thing I would do is to draw another stroke, but this time will be a line just from this point to this point, just a line. The line will have no fill, but it's going to have a stroke of 15 too. I'll also change the color to this. Okay, so we now have something like this. Good. So what I would do, the next thing I would do is to work on the trim part. So work on the trim part, and I would use trim parts, come inside. So let me rename it so it's easy for me to know what I'm doing. So I'll call this fill. I'll call this outline. I'll call this stroke. So for the outline, I'll come inside here, come here, and add a trim part. So I will work with the end. Let's see if it is the end. Yes, I'm going to work with the end. So here I'll make the end 0, 100. Move about 10 frames or 20 frames instead. Pick another point and come over here and make it 0. So I have something like this. Okay. So the same thing I'm going to be using for this stroke. So I'll copy this. I think it should also work for the stroke. Let me paste and see. Yes. So I wanted to start somewhere around here. Maybe when it gets to this point, this is when I want the stroke to come out. So I'll move the stroke to somewhere here. And then let me ease it. And let's see what it looks like. Okay. It's too slow. The stroke is slow. Let me move again. This seems to be too slow. Okay, it should start somewhere around here. Oh, this is slow. Let me move. Okay, I'll leave it at this. Take it up a little. Okay, so I think this is okay. Let's see what it looks like. Let's go back to this and see. So what does it look like here? Over here it comes like this. Fail. Good. So we've done this. Come over here. Let me move this to the beginning. So let it happen at the beginning. Then for the fill, I want the fill. So somewhere around here, the transparency of the fill will move from 0 to 30. So we're going to leave this way. Come over here, make it 0. So we have something like this. Okay. So let me ease this. Ease. And let's see what happens. This. So one more thing I would do is the end of the stroke. I want the end of the stroke to be rounded. So let me see where I can achieve that. That should be stroke. Go to the line gap and make it rounded gap. Yes. So I also do the same thing for the stroke. I'll come to the stroke. I'll go to the line cap. I'll make it rounded gap. So we'll have, now see what we have. Okay. So let's see how it looks again. So this should start somewhere around here. After the folder is taking time to come up, let me move it up a little. So after the folder has gone up, let me still move the folder. So the folder comes here. So after the car has gone up, the folder comes up before we have the cancel icon. So let's check this out again. Yes. I still think the folder is still coming in slowly. Okay, that's too fast. Okay, so let's see. Nice. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, so I think that is cool. So the next item we want to do now is we want to go into the second item, that is this rectangle. So what we'll do, it's very easy. It's just for us to replicate what we did for this first rectangle. So for this one, it scales from this side, from the right hand side, bottom right. So we would have to move an anchor point here. It scales up, then this clock came in, and then we have fast approval coming in. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm come over here. Let me bring up the other one. So this will have to start somewhere around here. Then I'll move the anchor point to this place, right? And then it's going to scale the scale keyframe, give it 20 frames, pick another point, and then make it 0. So let's see. So it scales up. Let me easy it. Easy it. So let's see. Boom. Okay. Okay, so what I would do before I move on, let me rename this. Let me call it second rect. Yes, just so I can easily identify it. Now, the next thing I would do, like I said, let me duplicate this. Where is it called? That is the text. Yes, the text comp. So I would go over here. Let me look for it on my project panel. So I will duplicate it over here, and then I will bring it inside, bring it this way, so somewhere around here. I'll take it up, I'll go inside and remove one of them, since all I need is just fast approval. So close this. So I would delete this. So let me delete this and this, and just type fast approval. Okay, so this is what I need. I can just take it up somewhere around here, and I can reduce the size, or reduce, not increase. So I can reduce the size of my comp to something like so. Let me take this one down. Okay, so let me come back to my scene 5 and see. Yes, something like this. Now have fast approval. I think I will need to reduce the size of the text, the size of my box, something like this. Oh, so let me do it here. Let's do something around here. Yes, so let's see what it looks like. Okay, fast approval. Then the next thing is the clock. I have already animated the clock, so let me bring in the clock. So this is the clock. I have animated it already, so let me show you what it looks like. So I did a lot of things, and I won't be covering that in this tutorial, but yes, if you get the project files, you can bring it in, reuse it in your other projects you want to create. So it will be on the project, project files. So yeah, I'll bring that in. So let me see the sequence. So the rectangle came up, and then we have the clock animating, and then the fast approval happening almost at the same time. So we will just give them a little offset. So the rectangle comes up, then the clock is supposed to come up next, then we'll have the text coming in. Yes, so something like this. Good, this is nice. Let me check for the alignment. Okay, this will be at the middle. Let me put this fast text 2. Let me put this at the middle, so it should be somewhere around here at the middle. Okay, so we've done that for the second rectangle. let's move now to the third rectangle. So we have this. The third rectangle will start around here. So the second rectangle animation ends around here, and then the third rectangle can come in. So I will rename it third rect. And so let's see what should the animation contains. First, the rectangle scaled from this point. So I would go inside. First off, make sure that my rectangle, that the anchor point is at this point, right? Then I'll do scale from here, move 20 frames, and then come back, make this 0. So we have something like this. Then I'll easy it. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now is to bring in our currency, stack of currency, right? I have already showed you how I animated the currency. So how I modeled the currency, the 1,000 naira note. After modeling it, I saved it as a GLB file and brought it to After Effects. So let me bring that in, the 1,000 naira note. So I would go in here and just drag it in over here. So this is it. You can easily move it around because it is a 3D file. So I'll bring it here, move it somewhere around here. I can also scale it down, position it here, scale it up just a little, move it here. Okay, let me use full resolution so that I can see what it looks like. Okay, yes, this is good. I will duplicate it. Take it up, bring it somewhere here. I will rotate it so that it has some unevenness in the stacking. Take it up, rotate this way, and duplicate it again. I think I will need about 4. Let's see, about 1 2 3 4. Okay, about 3 stacks. Okay, so if I have about 3 stacks, that will be okay. So I think I would just make it 3. Just 3 stacks is okay. So what I want to do is that I will just offset them so they appear in this way. So look at this, it shows up this, and this. So it's taking time to load because I'm using full resolution. So let me take it back to third. Okay, I also think it's happening too fast, so I'll move it back. So after this animation, after the rectangle animated moved up, you have the cache revealing itself like this. Okay, so let's see that. Okay, and I also think his work is coming up slowly, so let me use 1 2 3 4, maybe 4 frames interval. Move this here, 1 2 3 4. I'll move this here. So let's see what happens now. Okay, that seems to be too fast. Okay, that's too fast. So I'll make it maybe 5. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 frames. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 frames. Let's see how this works. Okay, that is good. So I'm going to pre-compose this. I will call it cache stack. Call it cache stack. I'll go inside. Maybe what I want to do is I'm going to crop it. Ctrl Z. I just want to crop this like this. Yeah, composition. I will crop to region of interest. Why is my let me Ctrl Z. That should not have happened. Crop this, come to here, crop to region of interest. Why is it leaving it behind? Okay, anyways, let me just move it. Let me move it to the middle. So when I come to scene 5, this is what I have. I can move it over here. Let me use full resolution so that I can see what is happening clearly. So have something like this. It's going to take time to animate, right? So the next thing I want to do is that this seems to be too white. I would maybe just add some effects on it. So I want the effect to affect everything. So instead of putting the effect on each of them, I could just add an adjustment layer, come onto the effect, and I want to add lumetri color so that I can work with around the curve. So I would darken it a little bit, yes, a little bit, not too much. And for the creative, or the basic color, I would play around with the contrast, reduce the contrast instead. The shadows, let me increase the shadows and see what happens. Okay, maybe increase the blacks. Okay, so I think that will be enough. Let me see what it looks like now. Yes, it has darkened up a little bit. This good. So I would go back to my third resolution so that it doesn't take time to animate. Then I will duplicate this. I will duplicate this cache stack. I'll duplicate it and then adjust the position. Move this one. Let me move both of them back. I would, this one here, this one at the front, I will scale it up a little so that it gives that perspective illusion that one is at the front and one is at the back. So make this a little bit bigger and just stack it like this. Maybe still increase it, no, not too much. Maybe this can be reduced. Okay, let me adjust it and then move this way. So after this one stack up, this one starts stacking up. Okay, so let me play the animation so you see what happens. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, it's taking time to load. Let me play it again. Okay, let me see what it looks like over here. It stacks up and this one also stack up, right? Let me position this well. Okay, so after that, after the animation, after the cache, okay, the text and the cache came in at the same time. So but I will give it a little offset on my own. So what I would do, I'll also come back to the text comp. I would reveal it, go to reveal this. I will duplicate it again and then bring it here. I'll bring the text comp here so that it happens. Move it here. No, let me duplicate the first one instead. Let me duplicate the first one. I will delete this one. Yes, so this one is what I'm going to duplicate. Just Ctrl D, duplicate it, then I'll bring it here. So this time I'm just going to rename it and say quick disbursement. So let me go inside here, go inside the text comp 3 and change this to quick. I'll move it over here. Make sure I adjust the rectangle. Then the next text, which is quick disbursement. So I'll change this to disbursement. I hope I spelled that correctly. Let me check if it was spelled correctly. So disbursement. Okay, so that was spelled correctly. So disbursement, I would also move it here, and then this one I'll also adjust it. While adjusting it, I'm making sure that I'm on the last keyframe, so that what I'm actually adjusting is the scale. So I'm moving it to this point. So what we'll have is something like this. Let me play the animation. Quick disbursement. Yeah. So let's see what it looks like on scene 5. So this is it. Quick disbursement. Right. I'll scale it down. Let me scale it. It appears the size of this one seems to be bigger than this. So let me see scale text comp. Let me do the scale 81. Okay. So I'll scale this to 81 also, so that they look almost the same size. Yes. Also the same thing I'll do for text comp 81, text comp 2 to 81. Yes, so they all have the same size now. So if I play this, we have something like this. Okay, so let me play the animation again, so you see this and this. Okay, this seems to be slow. Let's see. After the rec comes in, okay, then the text came in very slowly. Yeah. Okay, so let me adjust the light streak. Let's see the light streak. So I'm going to adjust the light streak. This is too far from here. It's too far from the fixed rectangle. I want it to be close, not too far, even though it's going to be doing the wiggling. So let me go to my light streak. Let me check. No. Okay, so this light streak, click on U. I want it to move somewhere around here. Yes, let it be somewhere around here. And let's play this again and see what it looks like. Bam, bam. Okay. This is slow. This happens. So one thing you also need to understand is that after this, I'm doing this without using the voiceover. So if I was to animate with the voiceover, I would have to adjust my keyframe and adjust the compositions to go in sync with the voiceover. But here I'm just showing you how to animate. I'm not actually using the voiceover too. So just bear that in mind. So I'll play this. This comes up and this comes up. But let me adjust it so that it doesn't take too much time. So that will be the rectangle. That will be second rect. The second rect. I think I will just have to move everything together. So everything that I in one position, put all of these things in one position. So the second rect, the clock. Where's the clock? The clock. Let me put them in one place. Where's the second rec? And then the text comp 2. Let me put all of them in one place, so it's easier for me to always navigate or move around. So I have something like this. I could even change the color here. I can change it to something bluish, so I know that all these three are together. Do you get? And it's also easy for me to identify. So I can also do the same thing for the rest. So this way now I can easily move them. I can also decide to move them like this so it happens faster. Let me do the same thing for this one. So I'll go to the third rec. I have the cache, the two cache. I also have the test com. Let me bring it down. So I have this, and this. I can now change the color to maybe yellow. Yes, I can change the color to yellow, and then I can move it forward a little bit. So let's see what happens. This, and this. Okay, so I can take this, move all of them together again. Yes. So yes, that is scene 5. Thank you for watching. I'll be dropping scene 6 and the other scene in my next videos. And also, if you've not watched the previous video, do well to watch the other videos, and also try to download the project file so that you can follow along with me, create it along with me. Thank you. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like this video and click on the notification button so that you get notified when I drop another video. Bye.